Hey, good afternoon. Welcome, Pop-up Research Station. How's it going?
Um, can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay, everything's going well. I just ended my uh, students today. Stopped at 12.
Okay, great, great.
Mhm.
So how are they enjoying the
Oh, they are. I have about three or four in leadership roles where they actually guide the majority of the students through different projects, and it's going quite well. I met with the principal. She stopped over and she was telling me that she's just happy that I'm doing what I'm doing. And she says uh, she sees it as my space. She wants to respect that, even though she has communication with the Obama Center. So they're allowing her to uh, do special garden work there in the front area. There's also a sculpture was created or donated in front of Hyde Park High School.
I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw that.
yeah, metal sculpture.
That's
And
the one I asked you about. It's going to be there for like
it,
what, 3 years or something? It
no,
comes out in 2027.
I think they maybe a month ago, or they just installed it. It wasn't, so it's a recent uh, even, the celebration. It was a recent event for that sculpture.
Right. But I saw the length of time it's supposed to be installed up there, and it's there until I think 2027, something like that.
Oh,
3 years.
I didn't see that. So that's
Hmm.
okay.
It was on next door, Bronzeville, you know, and someone, highlighted it and profiled it and they did a story on it. I was going to pull it up, but it's going to take me a minute to pull it up. But yeah, I did see that like that. So,
I was leaving my home after talking with you,
hmm.
and he stopped to Norman Teague.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just said hello, and he says he's putting some furniture inside of the Obama uh, Presidential Center, and so I told him we've got to touch base with each other.
Yeah, he got that contract early on. Him and Flo Wilson,
Yeah,
they got that contract early on. Remember when we were going to the McCormick place and they were talking about then the subcontractors and we had the breakout sessions, and then they had that one breakout session where Flo and Norman were presenting, their
yeah.
team. Yeah, so I was
Okay,
excited for them.
he's doing well.
He
Uh,
is.
he, I didn't know so many fathers having kids, new babies. So I don't know whether he has one or not. But
No, him and his wife, they're both artists and engaged in community programming. I don't she's not uh, she's not having kids right now.
okay, that's good to know.
I think because of, I don't know why, but they're just a young couple. I wouldn't say young couple. They're a couple that have been together many years and just love each other to death.
Yeah, that's good.
They've been over here, the Bronzeville Artist Loft, and hanging out, stuff like that. So yeah, no, Norman.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some shows in New York as well. I saw him doing some big things over there with his furniture.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's good. I didn't know. I guess he's still involved with Theaster Gates.
Yeah, yeah, they are. They're part of the rebuild community.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, but they're doing. I see where uh, in terms of landscape help is being provided by the Obama Center at Hyde Park High School. So they're going in and they're mowing, cutting, trimming, uh, just doing a lot of things on a week to week basis. So that's interesting that they're doing that.
Yeah, I was going to swing through there yesterday, but I came on home. Um, I think it was going to start raining or something, but I was coming from Evanston, dropping off some artwork, and I was going to come through the garden. But again, I just thought, oh, well, I don't know. It was going to rain. I don't know if we were out there, and I just came on in. But I do want to come and start visiting the garden more, instead of as we're programming and things are going on, so
Yeah.
great. All right. I had called you this morning. There's some other, updates that's going on. Hi, Liza. How's it going?
Hello, I'm chasing a kitty at the moment. I will be right back.
Oh, hello, Liza. Good to hear from you.
Hi, good to see everyone.
Yeah, I just thought I'd say hi before we got all into our conversation today. I know that Christine asked to pardon. She wants to work in her studio and can really use that time instead of being on Zoom. She wants her creative energy to go in her studio. And then also, Bill, I did give you an update on Peter, and he
Yes.
wants to make sure that, well, he signed his contract and everything, and he just wants to make sure that he can forward, his stuff to his fabricator to get that going. What did he say? He says he's almost ready to send the CAD to the laser cutter for the steel and cutting quote. And when do you think he'll have the money to prepay for the steel and cutting? So he's going to move forward. I told him to wait until we finish meeting with Mr. Sawyer, and I'll let him know after our meeting. But he did say that he would just, go ahead on, and if you're certain that the money is coming, then I will pay for it. But if they cancel it, or significant delay, then I am stuck with it. Not my favorite thing is where Peter's coming from. And we do agree, but again, he said that he could, good faith, go ahead on and start taking care of that because he's going to be going on vacation. And they're going to the Alps, him and his wife. And
Oh,
yeah,
delightful.
yeah. So he just wants to make sure he gets that done and sent out in a timely manner. So again, I told him that we would let him know after we meet with Mr. Sawyer today.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
So with the others, Carol and you haven't heard from Carol, have you?
I didn't send Carol a text message about today. Everybody gets the same, forward from the calendar, and I didn't send anything from her, but she's on her way. She's planning. Oh, there she is as we speak of Carol. She just logged on. Um, but she's been meeting with Marilyn and trying to iron out some stuff, that's going on. Hey, Carol, we just talked to we just finished talking about you. You can always rewind the video and see what we said, but we didn't say anything negative. I said, you're like probably meeting with, I'm going to unmute you, but meeting with Marilyn and trying to get some updates on what's happening with you.
Oh, um, now I'm in that part of my life where I don't care what people think and say.
Hello, Carol.
Well,
I was inquiring about you because I always look forward to seeing you.
it's good to see you too. How are you?
Things are going well.
Good. I hear you're the man who's going to give me my check.
Oh, yeah. We have a 4 o'clock appointment with Mr. Sawyer, and we're going to iron out all these, to make sure we're crossing T's and dotting I's.
That's where y'all are at?
Yeah, I'm sure I think we are approved. We just want to know what day the checks will arrive. And I think he wants to talk with us regarding our events, major kickoffs for Art in the Woods, or the the project that we're putting on. So it overlaps with Hazel Crest events, or we select something on our own and create a venue for that. So I'm just trying to find where he's at about these questions.
I see. And that has something to do with the getting our payments?
No, I don't think so. We
Uh,
just, but when we were at our last meeting, I said, we want to talk specifically about the payment plan and when will the checks arrive. So that's where we are.
Okay, I'm hoping I'll get it while I'm there.
Oh, yeah, I don't see why not. I think
All
things,
right,
yeah.
yeah. So here's the look of for, when we were in the meeting, they changed the whole situation with a flyer that went out, Carol. And this is what Tara, the social media person, came up with. They felt was more digestible, um, for the audience or folks in the neighborhood. So this is what they went with instead of the flyer that you produced. I did have that flyer you produced on social media, on the blogs and everything. And I haven't started putting this out, but this is what they're sending out. And we're also working on a press release for that day. This is join us at the Arts in the Woods for Community Nature Mandala Build. Bring your family to enjoy the beauty of Hazel Crest open land. Because the other flyer didn't talk about Arts in the Woods or the other like draft of it didn't say anything about Arts in the Woods. And this is a project that is funded by Arts in the Woods. So we went back and forth all weekend trying to make sure that we had the right language on stuff and then putting together the press release um, that I want to profile more of the artist and what we're doing. That's what we're going to talk with because we have deliverables not only to the commission, the beautification commission, but also to the board of trustees. And so we're making sure that we understand that we have a service agreement to the board of trustees and the village that probably trumps whatever's going on in that committee. So that's what Bill meant by, he's going to look at what we're designing, what we're implementing, and how to keep in touch in the conversation with the board of trustees. There are
Yeah,
other issues. Go ahead.
I don't care either way, except that I guess I wasted my own time trying to
I
help.
did too. I did too, and I do understand. And then this is what they decided to put out there. I already put out what you had. It didn't, not a waste of time, but I did use it on the blogs and, that needed the information on it about you, right? So I did do that. And I'm putting a press release together that's going to be more detailed than just talking about this, but talking about you being the artist on this project, because there's some things we're going to talk about this afternoon or not. So this is, they're dealing with the logistics of things. But anyway, this is what is going out in there and being printed by them and everything. So I thought I would share that with you.
Oh,
But
thank you.
yeah, we went back and forth, all day Sunday. I spent Saturday going through Cook County placemaking or their art initiatives to come up with a master list of folks to send this out to throughout Cook County. They don't have a master mailing list under the commission, understanding that their social media person really just came on and just got like, sworn in by the village. And so they're all new. And just working with her is like going through Canva and putting together this thing. We went back and forth on how it should read, and using Grammarly to kind of improve the language, the flow of it, and stuff like that. So I went back and forth with her all weekend on that, and we finally got a settled on. But in terms of
Thank you for that,
yeah,
Alpha. I
yeah.
guess. I mean, you know,
Well,
you feel
your
good about
flyer,
it?
huh?
Do you feel good about it?
I do. I do. I feel like I had put together something too for them. And it was just kind of like, you know, we're just progressive artists and we're coming from a place where a lot of folks are not, you have the same thing going on Prince George County. I don't have to explain too much deeper.
No, I'm in the same business. Okay.
Okay. Okay. So that's why I was like, I don't even need to go too deep with that. I just think that, it is, kind of what it is.
It is what it
Working
is.
with them and then getting their mindset around, yes, yes, we are doing a moonlight social and a Mandela build, and now having to explain to community what a mandala is. And it's not a cult thing that's going on. You know what I mean? It's just so this is the article that I put together for you that I shared with them. And I'm going to pull it up right now on, here it is. This is what I put this flyer up for you after we gotta I gotta update this post because again everything keeps changing. And then so I just talk more about you, what you do in the press release, and share it with them what the mandala is by sharing this photograph that you sent with them. And that's what I sent over to her. And then your itinerary and what's going to happen when you get over there. So
Let me
so
see.
mhm.
Oh,
You
I just
said
want to say, don't, can I see the itinerary? Visit the land and you're putting that out to the public?
this is already on the blog, my blog. Yes, I guess. So I put that you're going to visit the land and design the mandala, and then you're going to on the 9th bill, and then the moon social, and then you're the artist is documenting and the mandala and travel. So yeah, I put that out there. This is what you'll be doing because those are kind of your deliverables or whatever.
Okay.
And so, yeah, so that's what I share with her, and because she doesn't have a press release yet, and so what we're gonna do is design another press release to make sure that this goes out in their village publications. And here it is, like 2 weeks countdown,
Not even,
basically, and
right?
right. And that's why I sit there and put together this long 100 page list of, like a power, like I'm starting to put their list together. And then one of my things to do is to send these out to these organizations that are part of the art programming in Cook County. But before I had to go to their website and then take all that information, go visit their actual websites of each organization to see what they're doing, if it's something that we want to invite them to. But there's other folks in other communities that would embrace being in the woods. And Bill, you could say the same thing in Woodlawn. We could say the same thing in Long Beach. Of there's there's a culture that's part of the open land and people that work in placemaking and doing things in forest preserves and national parks. And and we're trying to introduce children and youth and folks to the gardens and to open land projects. And you don't get a lot of people doing this work. How do you feel, Bill? Do you get a lot of people over at the botanical garden other than in our community that come out and support it?
Well, it's rare. I Unless I'm networking,
Mm.
people will show up. For example, like there's a Comer High School, which is my area and where I live, and so one of the directors of the she does landscape and also food production, and so I network with different people like Diane Hodges. She has her garden, so there is a sense of community, with grouping with people of that nature. So yeah, it's happening.
It's something that gets built, right? You have to build it up. That's what I think. I would think it would be a kind of unrealistic expectation that suddenly there's a big crowd of people at Hazel Crest. And to be honest, I was thinking 20, 25 and max people at the build.
Right.
You're going by that old saying, if we build it, people will come. And pretty much so. But I just want you to feel confident, Carol, that when we meet with Sawyer, we're going to be specific and we'll get some specific dates and specific times about the funding.
Yes, I'm confident, Bill.
That's good to hear.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, because I think we all are at that gate, standing here going like, okay, Bill and I have been on this project since November 1st and probably October of 2024. So it's been a long kind of like, okay, the payout is good, but building this relationship with the village has taken this time and to build trust, and we're like coming in on something that's new that hasn't happened, before. And then, and like I commented during the Board of Trustees meeting, is that I just felt like this community is supporting the arts, right? They have three huge art projects going. Ours is huge for me. Art in the Woods. They have the Art Center that is, repurposing a mall that was, defunct for years, and they've turned it and renovated it into a art center. And then across the street from that, there the school district, 152 and a half, there they have a bond and all that to acquire the land across the street from the art center to build a state-of-the-art performing arts center, into
Okay,
the
but
middle.
all this is happening, but the people are not knowledgeable about the arts, or
I think that this is a community that's invested into the arts, and we're seeing this happen. You know what I mean? That the city and the village is not a huge village, but you're looking at a lot of economic wealth and home ownership and folks taking pride in the community. And they didn't have an art center before. They didn't have a state of the art theater. They don't have any of this. This is new. Open lands, this is the first open art in the woods is the first time anyone came to them with a proposal to do and set aside the money to do art in the woods. And then and Mr. Sawyer has seen the work that Bill has done in Woodlawn and invited Bill to come out as a consultant to bring what has saw to bring out there what he's done and how he's developed gardening in the whole placemaking in Woodlawn. And then to complement what Marilyn and Carl is already trying to do. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. You're no. No. And then to talk about, and so that's why we're getting into different levels of conversation out there. I know that the Park District has a lot, they've been programming for years. They have a budget, they have follower, they have people that come out, to their things. I saw 12 people show up at the Sun, gathering. I can't call it a festival, it was a gathering. And then when I drove away, passing where the Park District was to get on the expressway, I saw tents and people, vendors and, music going on, and it was a big, turnout and support for what the Park District is doing and the type of music that brings people out. So I think that's where it gets when we're at the table, the new members were trying to talk about what the park district is doing and the kind of music that's going to bring people out. But I just feel like the people that are going to come out to this are people that are the type of people that are invested into tree planting, into nurturing the natural parks, and and they have a buy-in to, you know, and to develop programming in this part of that sector of that community.
I hear you. So it doesn't have to be the same audience as the park get, who are coming to just party, right?
Yeah, what I mean? They're talking about people that are going to really come and explore, and that's what we pitched during the
Uh,
Board of Trustees. And I know that even Marilyn doesn't anticipate, because she already knows the audience. She doesn't anticipate a large grouping of people that's going to come out, because in the past, that's what, but there has not been that type of outreach. Now that they have Tara on that can do the social media, that can put things on Eventbrite. But then again, how, it's a direct contact, with people. And that's why I sit and I work on all day and worked on this contact sheet I'm going to share with you all. And the organizations that are in Cook County that received nonprofit relief of art funding in last year. And then so I just Evanston has a lot of these, so their grant writers are on top of it. But I'm not mad at them. But I just saw how
but they
I
better
didn't
watch
see.
out.
Hey,
Hazel
I didn't
Crest
see
coming.
Hazel Crest. I didn't see Hazel Crest in any of these. I just saw, like, these northern areas of Cook County that that I took the time to put this list together, and the list did not have the contact information on it. You know what I mean? So everything is far, you travel a lot in Prince George County, everything is not real close, but these are the organizations. And the ones that are highlighted in yellow are the ones I'm going to make direct contact with, to see if they would be interested, and then sending them the actual flyer, to come out that day. And they were looking for organizations that have, like, here, I didn't know Oaklawn had a children's museum that was funded, but this would be and I looked at the time of their, when they were, this would be a great opportunity for a family that wants to bring their kids to explore something like that, if they don't already have plans. And, um, not everybody is going to the Bud Billiken, parade, which is that same, that same, kind of weekend.
Black
Yeah, you
August.
know, yeah, in August. And so it's a lot going on. But look at how Evanston has all of this funding in their organizations. Oak Park is, another northwest area. I highlighted this one because I think this sound meditation, you know, um, uh, would really work in Hazel Crest. And to invite them, I really wanted to go check them out, but to invite them to come over to Hazel Crest, and they're right out there in that Palatine in the South area.
I
So
agree with I agree with that so wholeheartedly, and reaching out to more organizations like them is so
mhm, to get them involved. And I also was trying to to reach out to the Girl Scouts, because sometimes they bring kids out in nature, and explore. And so that's another outlet I'm going after, as well. But the ones that I highlighted, I felt like would be more receptive to sending someone out, you know, um, and here this community engagement director out in Port Forest is right there, you know what I mean? And then here it is, this Glenview is out in the South area as well. And LaGrange is right out there. I mean, all this stuff is a half an hour apart from each other. And Maywood, that's more north, but then I just thought I put them in here to make sure I send the flyer directly to someone and then make a phone call. And so I'm really looking at the outreach and bringing folks, from other sectors of this, um, Cook County out. Music for Youth, that's right there in Chicago Heights, and they were looking for commission was looking for music programming, because they wanted to insert their own music with what we're doing on the 9th, but that's another conversation to be had. But I just figured we highlighted what other youth are doing, and also I'll make a list of the schools, which the commission already has a list of the schools and contact people at the schools, but are you getting them the information in a timely manner? I don't know. You know what I mean? We want to get 2 dozen people to come out and build the Mandela, and 18 people are on the commission. If each person came out and brought one person, you got 32 people, and that's all I have to really say about that. But but I just looked at other ways to get the information out about Art in the Woods and what it is that this is the kickoff. And this is the conversation I guess we'll have with Mr. Sawyer, because he also wants to know how we're going to do the community engagement piece. But all
What
these.
does that mean? He wants to know how we're gonna do it.
Hmm? Well, we have to give him a plan. I said the same thing when I was sitting there, like, oh, but we're going to talk about that at 4, and I'm going to let Bill lead that conversation and listen and write, because we want to have the same vision as the village manager. You know what I mean? And he's asking me for deliverables. He's asking me for timelines, because at the end of the day, we have to come back and report to the board of trustees, and get them the information they need, because he needs it in his reports and stuff.
Yeah.
Boy,
Uh,
Bill, go ahead.
That he wants to like schedule our results. He wants to see results, and we present that to the board.
Right.
That's
Because they know right now that there's always been a low interest and a low turnout for events, and there's more people outside of Hazel Crest that have come, that's part of the other arboreums, that come. It's not necessarily people from the across the street, down the street, and the other neighborhoods come across and just engage. Tallgrass Art Center is another one that's right out there. When I was in the suburbs, I used to go over to Tallgrass Art Center to taught a class or something. Batik taught over there. What'd you say, Bill?
it's a nice space.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so and all the ones I highlighted in yellow are the ones that I think Union Street Gallery is another resource out there. And Port Forest, that's right up the way. They have so I highlighted those, and here Young Black and Lit. They're in Evanston, but I highlighted them. So that's the list that I took time out to research, and then to just really sit down and kind of look at their websites to see what they're doing, what they're about, and then so that we could get on their radar, get in their about what's going on in Hazel Crest, try to do that reach and put a press release and send it out to each of those. So that's what I've been doing in terms of outreach, and that's what will be in my report. And I shared that with Tara, their social media person, so that she can add it to their contact list.
Good.
And I just feel like, the Moonlight, the village needs to do that PR, but I just feel like we need to do it as well. Bill and I need to do it as well, because we're targeting our audience and who we want to come out. Peter had an excellent idea last week about, okay, we do the outreach and do a call for artists. That's the other reason I put this list together. So we have point people. So the next time, next year, that we do a call for artists, and all of us that were part of this year's, public sculptures, our Art in the Woods, we're the judges, are the panelists that look over the submissions. And so that's something that we could talk about, like, because I'm thinking that after this year, it's good. The question is, do we have a vote in what we get? What is being, designed for Arts in the Woods? That question did come up. I wrote down different questions that came up during the meeting, so I can circle back and put that in a report, of, what people were complaining about or what they were asking questions about. And then how did we make the decisions for the purchase of these art pieces and why we brought.
Really?
I had heard them in the meeting, you know what I mean, a couple times when we did our presentations. Um, so I said that we were experts, from the field, and Bill, because he's the project manager and he's the one that has the contract, that we pull people that we work together with instead of doing a call for artists to come in. We wanted people that's going to come in and help develop their program and not just, bring in a deliverable like a sculpture and they plop it down. We really wanted people that are invested um, into the conversation, into, community, and not just, here, I'm going to make this sculpture, just pay me, and then they are not engaged.
And
Right.
we have the best team so far,
Yeah.
because all of you are very qualified and talented in what you do. And so we want to highlight that to, I'm sure he's aware of that, but we want to make that known with Sawyer in terms of if we need to just say to back up or to say, this is what they're doing now. And we want to present that to the board.
Right. So, saying that to say, I have to pull up a couple of things, the scope of services agreement. And we don't really need to go over this, but I wanted to go over it again because there was these questions about, is something I really didn't share. I think I did. Well, I did share this, and sometimes people get lost in the I didn't know what you said, but this is what we told. And we're only going over this because we have to have a post discussion strategy before meeting with the village manager at 4 o'clock. But these are the things that we're going to go over with him. And yes, the other artists all of you are giving us advice in building this program. But this is what I don't know if I shared this with you before, Carol. You may not have been on the call when I did share this, but the scope of work outlining the specific tasks and deliverables that will be addressed throughout the course of the project. And all of you have separate deliverables that, I had to compile and go over with him with different timelines and everything. And then we attach provides a comprehensive breakdown of the anticipated costs associated with the project, which we did. Additionally, I have included the following relevant documents. We gave him our R9, and we collected all of your W-9s. Yours is in the file. All of us is in the file. Bill has signed off on all of them. So you already had asked that question about pay, but we already got everything ready to go when we meet with them, and a file with your contracts on them. And each of you all have separate deliverables on this project, and your own timelines. And yours shifted because you're coming in to do the community engagement, but you're coming back to do the install of your sculpture, which will be April 26th.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I'll tell them today. And then they may have an issue with the installment because he was saying, I added this amount, what we asked for, this is our balance. And they committed the 30,000, but he wanted it 50, like half and half. So I might have, only thing I probably have to take from this is the community engagement. I'll argue about, not argue, but talk to him about, we need that 2,555 to stay in this budget, because that's what is paying for the community engagement, like the musicians coming out, you know, and the musicians and the music kind of stalled at the last meeting that we were at, because of everyone not looking at the vision of what was proposed with the soundscape um, conversation. That's part, to me, that's part of what you're doing. And anyway, so this is what we said that we're doing. This is our activities completed. We're going to be documenting you doing all this, and photographing your activity. I just talked about like community pop-up events, which is the event that you're doing, will include programming on how the community can participate in beautification efforts, and residents will be empowered to propose unique beautification solutions. So how are we going to do that? I think that's some of the outcomes that we're going to need. When I guess when you're talking and you're engaging and working with people, I'm going to be out there as well. And I'm going to put together a survey, quantitative survey, and then a qualitative survey. One with a QR code so they can photograph, use their phone to kind of, and then do a list of, questions. And if you want to pose a question that I can put on that survey, that would be great, both of you and Liza.
Well, the thing is, I guess the way Marilyn and I set it up,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if anything has changed in the 4 days since we talked,
Okay.
but we're gonna be together, she and I, on the trail with the families, and that as we're looking to help teach some plant and tree identification,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to encourage them to like choose a tree that they want to look at through the seasons and the changes of the trees. We're going to be gathering, we're going to show them poison ivy, we're going to show a couple of medicinal plants that they can use, for the plantain for bug bites, and just kind of I guess the nature orientation, that land orientation. And we'll be gathering materials, and then we're going to do that for about an hour, and then we're going to go back to the mandala site and put it together collectively. I'm going to have a very simple outline that's already there. And depending, I like people who work in teams. I always think it's great for people to work collectively. So that's what we'll do. And by the grace of Goddess, I had the idea of taking some of this big cardboard. My neighbor got a new dishwasher, and I got the cardboard. So ideally, I'm going to do some cut out painted pieces that have to do with unity. Maybe the word unity, something for the center, and maybe something that goes around the edge. That'll go on the mandala. And so yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And then some other woman wants to do some coloring. So
Yeah, that's Tara. Tara, she has some coloring sheets, for folks that come and, want to color mandalas or take them and have a competition or something. They're passing them out. I know, don't. Um,
uh,
um, they're passing them out during August 2nd with their hazelnut parade that they're having this weekend. And I was going to go out there. It depends on a couple of things. I have to have a root canal on Friday. And then also I stepped down wrong, and my knee is out of joint or crescent bone or something. And I got to go get some x-rays on on Thursday to see how much damage I've done.
Oh,
Walking
no.
in my sleep, coming back, in the dark. And next thing I knew, I stepped down wrong and I heard the bone go, ouch, and so I've been dealing with that kind of pain since last Thursday. So I intend to, I'm thinking this weekend I was intending to drive out there on the 2nd. So, I could be team Art in the Woods, and that way I can, pass out and talk a little bit more, have the surveys at the table, and do those kinds of things to galvanize and hopefully get people signed up to come, Carol, out there.
I vote for you taking care of yourself.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna probably wind up doing, but I just, I want to be on point on the 7th if I don't show up out there on this Saturday.
Well,
All
I
right,
was
so
telling Marilyn, I didn't think the coloring thing, I don't want people to choose between doing the mandala and coloring. I want people to come do the mandala. That's what they're there to do. And they can get their coloring at the end of the day, at
yeah,
the
or
end of the time.
they can get their color sheets on the 25th, on the 2nd, and then bring them for some competition or whatever that's stirring up in Tara's mind that she wants to do with that. And to introduce a lot of folks, Carol, really don't know what mandalas are. And there's a segment of the population that looks at all of this as cultic stuff. You're talking about
Well,
the
so is a coloring competition. That's cultish.
hey, a lot, hey, my son, I can't even get into that conversation. He thinks I'm worshiping out there and doing that work in the woods. He has a whole conversation for me about me being out there in the woods doing this work. Jokingly, mind you, but he has a whole thing in his mind that what we do when we're doing this oasis in the woods and when we're out here doing creating stuff, like that it's not an abstract thought to them, but sometimes it's like, what are you doing now out there in the woods? Oh, I still get comments from my neighbor or different people that watched us live when we were out in Brandywine, and they say stuff to me about being out there in the woods and doing those kinds of ceremonies and stuff. So it's even when we were in Long Beach, we didn't really get a big group of people that came in because they just didn't understand what we were doing. Like when Yaya was doing the dance, and we were doing our celebration, it was, but if you put on a DJ, you know what I mean, and you're
Do you
you're
have
doing
two
all
things? May I interrupt about Long Beach really quick?
sure.
Okay, so August is the worst month for that particular area. And they don't have the same kind of the type of work that they show is very different from this type of work. And so those two factors did impact how many people were there and how it was received. And I think if you had done something on Earth Day or if you had done something over closer to the holiday, I definitely think there would be a very different response in Long Beach, because I did work with communities when I worked there like a decade prior. That would be enjoyed. Sorry, I don't know if that was
No,
helpful.
no, no, but it is true what you said, and you told me that in the beginning that it's really a slow tourist time in Long Beach for folks. But again, I think that the people that were really interested that gave me cards were people that are doing this type of work that showed
Yes,
up and
very
and
true.
and
Very
and 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 I appreciate them showing up. And our largest audience was on Sunday, but that kickoff, when people came through and gave me their cards, I saw where they were from and what the work they were doing. And we got an excellent write-up in the newspaper because it was something that was different than what they normally do.
absolutely.
And those folks came to the different, what they don't normally do. Some people don't want to be there when it's just a DJ and it's blaring and it's going on. Then they're not trying to do that. There's a segment of the population that's what they come to do, is get their party on and celebrate the work that artists are exhibiting at an opening, drink up your liquor, drink up your wine, drink up your food, and then they go home. Are they purchasing your art? Are they supporting the art community? Those are those kinds of conversations that get blurry to me.
I would like to say this. I think I'm very excited about the mandala presentation because the natural elements is full of energy, and how that energy form is shaped or interconnected. It just takes it to a higher vibration or a higher level. So I find that when I in Japan where they rock gardens, how the density of a rock carries a tremendous amount of energy that somehow we overlook. So I think Carol, she's hitting it on when it comes to the focus on energy levels.
I
Yeah.
agree with you as well. And that's why I said it's a different segment of the population that's going to come out and embrace something like that. And then there's still a lot of education that has to happen about the type of environmental installation work that we do. All of us on this team, this is what we do. A lot of folks don't want to deal with alternative exhibition. Not going to do it. No, they want a different type of investment of their time and energy to go that way. But again, those of us that are into the environmental, that's the audience we want to come. And when they come, then the education begins with folks that, what are they doing over there? How can I be a part of that? And so those are other discussions that we have to have about the community that we're going into and how we get them. We already have our place keepers, which will be Carl and Marilyn, and their team, but they have the same challenge, is getting people to come explore within that community.
I agree.
So that's what and some folks would say, well, that's something that they should do. No, it's something that we signed up to do when we said we're going to take this project on.
Oh, getting
Yeah,
people to come there or just presenting the programming?
we could present the programming, but we also need to deal with the community engagement piece, you know. And that's why I put that list together. And then I'm going also into the colleges that are around that area and satellite colleges that are around that area that might have art students that may want to come out, and, Girl Scouts and nature centers and different areas, because they have the Park Forest Preserve out there. They're doing art and cultural programming as well. So just to kind of reach out to some of their coordinators is my thing to do this week. And yes, I just feel like it's part of what, as an art consultant and Bill as a project manager, of, of part of our deliverables, you know. Um, Not that you have to do that. We're bringing you in so that you can complete the other part of it, Carol.
Well,
So,
I think it's going to go great. I'm excited about it.
yeah,
It really isn't something for a massive group of people. I think it'll be impactful to those who come, and those people will bring other people in the future. I think it's a particular kind of person who will come who knows nothing about it, you know?
right.
I agree with you on that, Carol.
Because your programming over in the botanical garden has, you have to, it's a hit and miss sometimes. But then now that you have enrichment coordinator bringing other audiences in over there, it's different. And then you're across the street from a huge major development with the Obama. So your audience is picking up, Bill. But in the beginning, it's slow with getting people to come and being engaged. So this is what we said we do, and plan activities, start time, end time, and then provide the village manager and the commission with marketing, projects marketing coordinator with, um, with what we're going to do at least a month prior to the pop-up so that they can help. And we're on point with our deliverables. Peter is ready to, submit his, project to his fabricator before he goes on vacation, so he's ready to go. Christine asked to be like, she needs studio time. She's already constructing and putting, chiseling away over there on the wood piece so she can meet the deadline and have things ready for installation. For October. Both of them will be things for October. And like the site-specific installation soundscape what Carol is doing, and that's what, you're coming to pick up your, supplies and your, from the land and everything over there. I don't know if you talked to Marilyn about the boneyard, where we can go over to see aluminum and discarded stuff that
I did, but she said that Carl is a person, and let me get my notes. I think she said she was going to ask him.
Mhm. So this is what we said, and then you will be installing yours next year, and so the three of us are that phase two. And I left you like with the site-specific installation and didn't say phase two because you're part of the phase one. And Bill and I will come in, and we're doing all for metal seating, and I got to get some price quotes and have Peter fabricate it. And then again, my challenge is pitching it to the commission, and then getting us several like design concepts to show them what can go on that metal, and get them to approve it before I get started painting it. And I think that Bill and I are working together with him doing the photographs, because I might wind up having to do some, landscape scene instead of a people person on those chairs. And we got to see what they kind of favor and let them vote and have a say of what goes on. And then the same with Bill going out there doing, he's going to do a site specific photos, but he still has to conduct in August, you know, um, taking people out, letting them use their cameras, and teaching them how to build. You can talk more about what you're going to plan on doing, and then have them select which images for you to create your piece with.
Yes, yes.
Really? That's what you're doing, Bill?
Oh,
Mhm.
some
And then
initial. Uh, I enjoy taking photographs of leaves as they begin to dry out or uh, crumble before November, December. But I treat it like I'm shooting a fashion model where I go deeply into uh, sort of like a macro perspective where you're closing in on this leaf and it has such a beautiful design. It becomes a work of art.
Okay, and then
So that's part of nature photography, but with those elements. I mean, they're the way I think each leaf is as it sort of fades and crumble, it it has a whole unique expression uh, of its own. So once we collect that as a group, then we can select uh, the type of leaves that'll be ready for presentation, and that could be placed on metal. We can create it's almost like a kaleidoscope metal uh, look where you walk around the sculpture and you see the different leaves.
oh, that's interesting.
That's my goal with Hazel Crest is to uh, teach a program, nature photography, but yet it will create a sculpture, a metal sculpture of that.
Here, I'm going to show you.
But
Let me show you what he's doing, Carol. This is the email I shared with the village assistant manager, Laverne. This is how he's manipulated the piece.
It's
You
a
see
wall piece?
right here, this is one of the leaves, like he was talking about, some of his photography that we submitted. That's something else. It's
So
but
Bill, is it a wall piece or what are you thinking?
You mean you mean the presentation of it?
Yes.
I'm going to place it on metal, like this one here. This is, I mean, the beauty of it. Every leaf is unique, and so this is where I'm trying to captivate that, and it will go on a metal, uh, just a rectangle metal construction, and they'll either I can. I work on ways of connecting it together uh, to withstand the weather.
Yeah. So
Uh,
it'll be a freestanding sculpture.
yeah, it's a freestanding sculpture, and eventually there's other ideas. Could each leaf designate an area, like leaving breadcrumbs throughout
Mm-hmm.
throughout the space? Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
yeah, I love this piece right here.
Yeah.
So
That's
beautiful.
cool.
So that's the goal of of creativity when it comes to unique leaf construction.
Oh wow. Awesome. What kind of leaf was that? Elm?
Maple and elm.
Beautiful.
So yeah, those are, and I'm starting the second year on this. Am I Alpha?
That's yeah, that is part of the what did I do with it? The task. Sorry about that. That is, but you have to, yeah, that's part of what you're going to do during the August this year, so that you have it ready for installation next year.
Okay.
And the other thing is, if you're going to have it mounted, I know I heard you say that you're going to take some rods and have it installed in the ground and then attached to that frame, is what you're thinking. We need to have, when we start with Carl and Public Works, building the concrete pads for these installations, do it all at one time instead of separately doing them. Peter needs a pad. You're going to need, I don't know if you're going to need pads, but you, for the rails that you're putting in, but you might need those round, cylinders that you pour concrete in to go into the ground to stick
Oh
your
yeah, yeah,
poles in. We need to
yeah.
get,
Jim will
we
help me on that.
yeah. We need to start talking now about how you're going to install that so those installations can all happen at once. Because, yeah, they're not picking up the cost of that, so that's one of the things that we need to talk to Mr. Sawyer about, since our
Wait a
budget
minute.
only,
They're not paying for the installation?
well, I guess the way I wrote it up, that installation is going to have to come out of the budget, that we put forward. And that's the conversation we're gonna have. Is the in-kind gonna happen by the village to do the concrete? Because Carl was like, well, he didn't have to go to Mr. Sawyer about what the cost is gonna be for the concrete. So now I asked Carl to give me an estimation of quote of how much is gonna cost, even if it's in kind, for the concrete pour, rebar, the hole dug. They got all the equipment to do all that kind of stuff. I don't know what that's a Carl thing to go do.
Yeah,
And then,
I'll talk with Carl about
yeah.
that.
And then the location, Bill, of where you're going to install this piece,
Yeah,
you're
you
going to do
know,
several pieces or just that one piece, because we quoted how much money each of those cost. And they could even be, I looked at the village over there, beautiful village, administration building, but the artwork, some of that metal could go into the, you know, their administration building, because they have all that wall space over there. But,
yeah. So what we do, yeah, it it extends itself. There's so many possibilities. I was thinking, okay, as you go to one area to the next area, that maybe the leaves could be signage of this is by the shape of this leaf and the design of that leaf, is designating an area as you move throughout the space. I could create one sculpture, or it can go, or otherwise it could go into the administrative building. So these are, I want to iron that out with you, Alpha, and Carl, as well as Mr. Sawyer, about,
Right.
what's the best possible location for that work.
So, yeah, so that's something I made as a thing that we need to kind of talk about when we meet with them today. So, but Carol, you've been on an hour. If you don't have anything else to discuss, I don't take much more of your time today. But
Okay,
looking forward to you arriving. I'm going to be available on the 8th as well to come
good.
out. Just what time you talk about meeting out there? You need to be early because it get hot out
Yeah, I want it to be early.
there. How early?
I had Marilyn and I hadn't set that time. The only thing I know about her time is I think she's gonna try to go to her family reunion. She's trying to do both now.
Right.
Oh,
So
Carol,
be with me and
always a
go to her
pleasure.
I told her bring me a plate.
I'm gonna tell her to bring me a plate too. I'm gonna send her with a to-go box or something.
Yeah, right.
Because we're gonna be out there and working. But there's some
Yeah.
great places around there to eat as well, and keeping the money in the community out there is important. So that's
Uh,
why
can
that's
I?
why Bill wanted to jump.
Yeah, Carol, it's a pleasure to be with you, and I can't wait to see you in person
When will I see you, dear?
on the 9th.
Okay, great. I
Well,
look
what is that
forward
going
to it.
on in your garden on the 9th? That involves you?
No, Alice has there's from noon till 7 or 6. Uh, she there's a they're creating a college in South Shore, so this is the major kickoff for the uh, completion or development of that college space.
Ooh.
So that's what
Nice. So
that
she's not even going to be out there at all to do the Mandela, nor will she be out there to do the moon. She said she was going to leave Jim out there, but if you're telling me Jim is in the hospital right now doing an
no, no,
MRI,
no. Jim just had a checkup for
okay,
with the MRI, but he's here. But what I'm thinking is that she's going to take control of that herself. I'm not required to be there.
okay.
So whatever, I mean, she may have to close shop. We'll see how that happens.
So you want me to, because I'm going to go out there for Carol's thing, Mandela build first thing in the morning.
Oh, okay. So I have to get.
So I
Uh,
don't know. I don't think, so either you come do that and then I drive all the way back to the city.
Well, but you
we
remember I told
probably,
you we
I'll
have
be.
the house there.
We probably no. We can make a day of it. Let me talk with Jim about that and make
Okay.
sure
And
everything.
then Reggie's flight is coming in on, because I talked to him about they're losing the whole concept of the soundscape that ties in with Carol's, project, right? And I had written into it, and that's why I was looking through that scope of services, and it isn't in there, but it's the other proposal, is that the music has to be where we're recording the sounds of Hazel Crest and not having a jam session, and not having um
The
uh, uh
marching band.
all that, you know, and Maryland does not want that. And what Reggie will be creating music like I did with him with the Soundscape Tapestry
Yeah,
project that I did.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about, a musician, first class musician coming from New York over here to create sounds that are native to Hazel Crest, that are unique to Hazel Crest. So while he's creating this music and soundscape that goes with the Mandela Project, it'll be a recording of this right? That we're
Yeah.
trying to create there, and not have a, like, again, like a marching band, a R&B group, and all this stuff, that kind of takes us off course.
I
So
totally agree with that. And
so
so,
he'll be in on the 8th, and then be available for the 9th to come and do our stuff.
okay,
I mean,
that's
that's the final. I'm not going to go back and forth with with folks about it, because I felt like we built that. I'm not. We built that into the program. We built that into, and for someone to jump ahead.
if she wants to do it.
Okay, so I'm back recording. So,
Okay,
yeah. So that's the, again, our music part of it is so that we can get that going, and then have a recording of the night. And I know, Carol, you were like, you wanted to have a section where you were going to talk.
Just very little, but
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
just
because
introduce
Maryland did.
folks to the mandala and ask
Mhm.
them to whatever, put their candle down, put their flowers down, put their, that's it.
Right. And it would be great, like, how I really love the way in Brandywine at Jennifer's Garden, but they have a network of folks that are doing, that Black Farmers Network in the DMV area, that all came out there and brought their families. Eventually, maybe, not maybe, but eventually that could happen for Hazel Crest. You know what I mean? But right
Yeah.
now, it is what we have, and I want to take Maryland's lead and, easing in, making it like something that it's, because she's trying to go between two, Indiana and back over here from her family reunion, and trying to, support this project, and she just doesn't want it to be a program.
right,
It's
right.
more of a social, you know, and
Yeah, I
I
get
agree.
that. I
And I,
agree
I
too.
agree too. All righty. So,
All right, well,
yeah.
let's see. Next Tuesday is the day before we leave, so I'll see you for a short period next Tuesday, just in case something changes.
I
And
know, huh?
tell Reggie I'm looking forward to meeting him and working with him.
Yeah. So that's the 5th. And yeah, that's cool. We'll have
Yeah.
an update,
And
then.
what about your granddaughter? I hope she's able to
I
come.
wanted her to be, but Tyree's birthday is on the 8th, right? So
Oh,
she's down in St. Louis, and I had sent her mom, my daughter Jasmine, a email saying, a text message, that I wanted her and all her little cousins, as a group to come out, and this is something they could do. And then Danny's on vacation down in Mascoutah.
uh,
So I don't think she'll be back next weekend, but I was kind of
oh,
like, I told them that I had this to do, and she's on vacation. So I don't know if Tari's going to drive back up, because I thought you and Jess was going to stay here, and commute back and forth out there, but you guys got a place in Homewood. So he asked me the question, oh, so you don't have people staying with you in August? And I'm like, no. So he may come with the pups and everything back up to Chicago that weekend, because again, it's his birthday weekend. So we'll see.
no, because we actually have 2 unaccounted for days. You believe it? We're gonna have 2 days in between Louisville and Chicago. We don't know what we're gonna do. And I was like,
What do you,
well,
what do you mean?
I mean, we don't have to be. We leave on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
the Airbnb, and I don't have to be in Louisville till Wednesday.
All right. So you're gonna come into the city now?
Well, I mean,
I got space.
let me talk with him about it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you. But you don't
We're
think
not
your
we're
son will
not
be there?
charging you. I will
Oh,
see. I will
yeah.
see if they come back up. If they come back up, then I'll let you know. But if not, but I was trying to make sure we had a base number of kids that are coming, and because one of Danny's friends, Amina, is a Girl Scout, making sure her Girl Scout troop and her mother know to bring them out. And they
Yeah.
usually try to support art projects that I'm doing with Danny, because they've been here through the Bronzeville Art District trolley tour, and they're driving in from the suburbs to come to support her kids painting workshop. So this is something I noticed she would love to do, but I really wasn't trying to babysit. I had stuff to do. Hazel Crest is like, I'm trying to get this project off the ground and not,
Yeah.
she's on vacation, and I'm like, you can go vacation with your uncle, and leave, let where I can get into doing when I'm adult stuff.
All right, dear. Well,
All
I'll
right.
talk with you next. And listen, if you need to reach out to me, you can always call between now and then,
Uh-huh.
whatever. And then I wanted to remind you that we do have that 2-bedroom with a couch pull-out place out there if you don't feel like going back and forth.
You hear that, Bill?
Yeah, where's this?
They're in Homewood. Their Airbnb is in Homewood. So like there's a break
It's like
between
1.3 miles from the open land.
Okay,
it's
well,
yeah. So there's a
I'll,
break between 11 and 1. So there's that 2 to 6. It's a 4-hour break.
Yeah.
okay. Well, thank you for that invitation.
Yeah, because you spend all that time going and coming, and
Yeah.
that actually is, I don't know about you, but for me, it's stressful. Traffic and all that, other people and everything. So, it's up to you.
Okay. Well, it's always good to hear you and see you.
All right, I'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right, Carol.
Take care. Bye bye.
Right. So so that's good, Bill, that we were able to have that discussion. And now I haven't had a discussion with I'm gonna pause this for a second. For my sculpture, that I was going to take part of it and invest it back into the project,
Okay.
because that says, like, for me doing a metal chair, that's
Yeah.
that's a cost. That means I gotta order the metal. I gotta order the if I pay Peter to do the fabrication, I gotta know how much that's gonna cost and all of that, and that has to come out of that $2,000 for that project. So I'm over here working on another application that just came through, and it's due on the 8th, but I'm going to submit it, and it's, let me find it. It's called Investing in Arts, Tools and Equipment. And so this is due by the 8th, and I'm halfway through with it and ready to submit it. But they pay up to $5,000 just on supplies, but I have to have a budget that is broken down to what the cost is. You know what I mean? So I'm halfway through with this. I'm just saying I'm looking at other ways, and grant writing is just, it is this crapshoot, to get it, get it. If you actually write an excellent proposal, you'll get it. But I'm looking at other ways to help support the project. And because we didn't really build in our supply costs. Peter did, and Christina built it in um, as part of their overall bid, because that's why Peter bid 9,000, because he knew he'd have to pay for the supplies and everything, and deliverables, and to deliver the sculpture to the site, and the truck and all that, and the fabricator. He knew that, so he built that into his budget, and then how much he's going to be paid to do the project.
Okay, that's
You
good.
know,
Uh-huh.
and then Christine did the same thing. And I built in that I would paint the metal at 2,000. So I'm responsible for my paint and cleaning the metal, purchasing the metal, and all of that. But we didn't. And then and the other placemaking application that we submitted, it had separate line items for inspection, for material cost, and that's not included in this $30,000. That's
No,
why I already know I got to take this 2,000 and put it into the fabrication of this project.
well,
And
see, there's options. You brought up an interesting point. Uh, a possibility of a collection, photographic collection inside the administrative building. That's
Mhm.
pretty good. What I can do is I have a large scale printer that can actually print that up. And if we were not going to work with metal, I have to find, if I'm working with metal, I would have to send it to uh, a place where they create that metal plate. Are you with me?
Right. I'm with you because
So
I sent you
yeah,
the.
so it may be a good choice to have almost like a gallery event with the changing of the leaves, where it could go easily go into the administration building, or I don't know how exactly where the uh, art center opening or presentations will start.
Well, they were really interested in your presentation, like the guy that was from the land, that there during the landscape dedication. And he was the main philanthropist that,
Yeah, he did speak
funded.
well of the photographs.
Right. And so I think we're on that point of, but the other part of it is how many people from the commission are you going to get out there to teach photography? How many people are you going to get signed up? If I go August 2nd, do we have a sign up sheet, to get people to, and what day are you available to go out there?
Yeah, I wasn't, what I'm thinking, Alpha, is that uh, sort of late September, I need, because that's a very good time to photograph leaves as they change according to the system. August is too early. I mean, I could have, I mean, maybe I can provide a workshop in September and then let, I don't know, it's a 1 week, 2 week workshop dealing with uh, the leaves, changing of the leaves. How do you
Well,
feel?
I'll go ahead.
Yeah, because I think I'm thinking about the uh, opportune time, which is like mid-September, where the leaves will change and they'll sort of curl and have that artistic effect. So it won't be possible to do it in August.
All right. So they have stuff going on out there in September, and that way you can have, some kind of presentation in October during the gala.
Yeah, what is a gala in October? What is that?
October 4th is when they're having their oats. Let me pull that up. What they said they're doing. Uh, it's on the calendar. Oaks and Folks social.
Okay, maybe that could be, it could fit during that time.
Yeah, I think, and that way. mm, yeah, I'm just making sure I have the timeline, but I just, I know that we're doing the dedication um for we're doing the dedication of the bill, I mean of the Christine and Peter's sculptures. So yeah, October 5th is the Oaks and Folks Planning Sculpture dedication. And I think that that may be a good time. It'll give you where you'll have a let's see here, the community pop up. That'd be a good place for you to do you know, in a gallery exhibition. You know how Carol and I did over in Brandywine. This is the installation that we did uh, last year and the year before that, being out in let me see here. This is in 2023. We actually went out and we had here's a garden. I did a gallery exhibition out there. let's see. And we actually had, I created, this is what it is. It's like an art and wellness festival. Can you see this?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, we all did installations out there. But
Okay.
I did a gallery installation, using the wood hanging tapestry, and made it part of the art walk,
Okay.
you
That's
know. It
interesting.
has, right. And I just a minute, pull up something better. Here we go. This is better. So we all, like three of us, four, actually five of us did this, but I was looking at here, see, um where people came into the circle, and I put the gallery sign up and then created this whole thing as a for people to walk through and walk out. But they were able to see the tapestries that were hanging. This was a piece that was you know, um, the tree was adorned, but anyway, we did stuff like this, so that it was a gallery experience, and then when I was talking about, people came. I mean, we didn't know how many people were going to come, but they came. And then this is them out there, because the other group of people were event planners. And so they sent stuff out to that network. And then it was really good that afternoon, but it was more like they had a vendor that came that had food that they sold. And so they did that kind of event planning, um, at night.
Oh, this is yeah, I really enjoy that
Mm.
energy.
Mhm.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So I'm just saying that you could think about, how you want to create the gallery experience in the woods, if it's an art in the woods. And if you're doing your photography and you have it on metal, how would you install that out there during the gala so folks would be able, as a temporary installation? And then those pieces would reside at the admin office if they wanted them to hang over there.
Well, just like setting up for outdoor is a question mark with
Yeah.
photography because, wind, rain could, you've seen me trying to re-tape and make sure everything was well in place.
Mhm.
It doesn't, so indoors, most likely, if I do the metal,
It's
that
temporary. It wouldn't be like you leave it out there in the element where it would get, you
I
know.
also thinking, are you saying when I could do it without the metal and then exhibit inside the administration building?
I'm saying do it on the metal as proposed and have and display out in the woods during the gala where most of the people would be there. And then afterwards, deinstall and take it over if they adopt it in the admin office to be installed over there.
Okay, then I have to go through the questions of how it can be assembled and taken apart.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a major question, and then no problem with that. I just have to work that out.
Well, just it's a thought to think about how, because all we're doing is pitching it. And then the next conversation is about how you're going to start creating the native pathways of installations.
Yeah, and I think Carla and I are seeing eye to eye. What I'm thinking about is just I don't know how much funding, but I think I can. There's we need like native plants or any type of perennials that'll come back as you walk through certain areas of that space. And I think Carl is okay. He mentioned some ways that you could plug something into the soil and allow it to grow. I have to sit down and talk to him thoroughly about that. But that's kind of where I'm thinking, and I do that somewhere when you look at my work at the botanical garden. Uh, I guide the viewer through that gravel space where there's perennials that are coming back, and it's showcasing what's there. So that's what it can be easily done, but it just depends on you know, I can donate perennials that I have on Dorchester that is just overflowing, and that could make up for the price of.
I think so, because we didn't again
Yeah, 'cause there's a
incorporate.
lot of things like I just have I mean, I have a whole vocabulary of plant life that return year after year, and it's just a matter of getting those established. I need to sit down with Carl to find out, like the pathway and the map, and I sharing that map with possibly Lloyd Cooper.
Mhm.
I'll
I
let.
want to go over there and see his that piano that he's converted into a sculpture.
Oh my God, he did the first. He completed the when you come in one side of it. Now he's working on the outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you walk, when you drive your car by or walk by, you'll be able to see it. So he's going to have that. The completion date on that is Thursday. He's going to have that uh, ready for it. So I need you to see that because he did an exquisite job for that. So I mean, found objects are so wonderful, magnificent. So and it has to found objects. It has to have a place in art in the woods as well. We can't overlook those possibilities.
Right, and
But
that's why we're going to the boneyard over there in Public Works to see what's discarded. One man's junk is another one's pleasure. You know,
oh yeah,
um,
it's amazing. And so another thing too, Alpha, is that we owe it to ourselves. We got to go to the arboretum just to pick up the energy of that space.
I was gonna detour out there on yesterday because I was out in Evanston, and I'm gonna be in Evanston on Sunday for an artist talk as well. And that starts at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, how far is that from?
No, I think
Um,
closer to Hazel Crest than Evanston.
okay, all right. So I was wrong. So
That's where I'm thinking is in that
okay.
location. So,
So what day? A
uh,
good day.
well, since I don't have any classes, Thursday is my last day, so we could do a Monday.
Oh, Monday.
Is it Monday, Tuesday? I mean, whatever. What's good for you next week?
Again, I'm doing all these doctor's appointments because I'm just
Yeah. So,
Department of Aging got all, my attention. All this
yeah.
aging stuff that's, creeping up, and I want to be, I'm looking right now at my calendar. And so next week is, like coming up on, the
Getting closer to the August 9th event.
right. And I'm
So,
looking at, I don't have any appointments right now on Wednesday the 8th, but that's October. I'm way over to October. Let's see, August. Next week is the 5th, and I don't have any appointments. That's pop-up research. So we can do it from pop-up research station. We can go out there and then just be on our phones and walk the area out there. But all that is a lot of coming and going because on the 8th, I got to be back in Hazel Crest, with all day with Carol and them. And the 9th is our programming, the 10th. So I don't know, Monday, the 4th, I don't have anything on my calendar right now.
let's do Monday 4th.
The 4th, okay.
Yeah, we'll do that because it's probably very important.
Yeah, that way you can,
Yeah.
all right, so,
So do we have we
what time?
uh anytime? I mean, if you want to do it 10 o'clock.
All right, I put 10 and that way we can middle of the day and then come, 10 to 2.
Okay, and then I'll help with the gas
Okay.
going
And I'll
off.
be picking you up, I'll leave here at 10.
Yeah, we'll leave here. You leave your place at 10, or you'll be in my place at
I'll
10.
leave my place at 10. And
Oh,
then that way I'll pick you up and I'm putting 10 to 2. That includes, picking you up, leaving here at 10, picking you up, get there, look, not even 15 minutes, you'll be ready. And then we just get on the freeway and it's like a half an hour drive out there,
okay,
40
great.
minutes. And we're behind traffic and the 2 p.m. will be in front of traffic.
Now, I have a question. How are we with 4 o'clock? Have we covered what?
I think so,
Okay,
you
yeah. I
know.
think a few pointers on like uh presenting our case to the board, or our findings or results to the board. What is that gonna look like? And then the funding, and then some whatever. Those are the two key questions I'm concerned about.
All right, and I'm gonna let you take the lead on the
Yeah,
conversation, and
conversation.
I'll listen unless I'm asked something direct. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
that okay. Yeah, I'll
and
take
then I will chime in on that music situation, um, share what our outreach is looking like. But then again, all that list are not people that are in Hazel Crest, and I think that that committee needs to focus on the neighborhood where we're looking at the county and bringing attention to what they're doing out there.
But here's another, which may be a feather in our cap. For I think they want to reach to the on a toward an international level, but we got to go like community, state, expansion. Like you came up with those a list of organizations that are in DeKalb, Aurora, uh, Oak Park. So I think what we're going to have to do is, and I like giving information out to that vicinity so we can draw more people in so they know what we are doing.
And also, I would like make sure that the flow of communication that we're working for Mr. Sawyer. This is
Yeah.
a contract under him and with the Board of Trustees, and I don't really want to get caught up in that committee stuff. You know what I
Oh,
mean? I
yeah.
mean,
The
with
big thing.
Marilyn is cool, Carl is cool. I've been kind of building a relationship with Tara, but we got to hear the voices, and I'm making notes of the voices and the comments and things that they're saying, so that we can have like, this is the um, research. And when you're doing the research, this is the pre-comments, about the dysfunction or how they would like for it to function. I was making notes while we were sitting there, and then where they want to go and the trajectory of how kind of to get there, to get people, and what they're doing to get people involved.
All right, good. And so we're going to follow the advice of Sawyer.
Mm-hmm.
And so the questions that I gear toward him is that we're following your plan. Because
Okay, great.
he's the one that, really made it possible. I mean, there were other, like, sure, Carl and Marilyn are fine, but we've got to make sure we're connected to Sawyer's
Vision.
vision. Yeah, then that's the case. And then I think we will be in good shape if we move in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I'll let you know that today.
All right. And on that budget, in case he says like, he only wanted it to read 50, give 15,000 and but I have put 17,555. That's because 2,555 is the engagement.
Okay,
And
so
I didn't really want to take out, I would have had, if I on that budget breakdown, I did the math and it was 15,000, and then I subtracted you know, the 17,555, and it came up with, it was $2,555 over, but that's the budget for community engagement. If
Yeah,
he wants to, you know, and if he wants that invoice to say 50%, 50%, I gave him what we needed for advance. And then what we will collect at the dedications, or, you know, when the project concludes, after the deliverables have happened.
yes, I agree. Here's another question that I have regarding Alice, is that I think you and should we talk to Marilyn, because Maryland has to dissolve that project with Alice to know that we're moving in a sound arena, you know, what do you call it, sound system of
Soundscape.
soundscape. That's important. Other things can take place later, but
Right.
this is first. We thought about it, and then we could. So when Alice inquires, we can let her know that this is the best option for us.
Right. And she doesn't, and because she already has that event going on the 9th, and she
Yes.
really forgot about it.
Yeah.
You're
So
gonna be, oh, you don't even need to come. Why are you even in the conversation about getting musicians out there and doing the music and when you already have something that you are doing and you can't commit to being out there or just showing up when your thing is over and rushing yourself? Could you
and then,
have a conversation with her, Bill? I don't
you know,
feel that it's Marilyn's responsibility to talk to her.
okay, then you're saying I should have a
I
conversation.
think you should have a conversation, and we've already ironed out who we're gonna do and what
Okay.
we're gonna do. And you know, she has that to do, and she can do October.
Oh,
October will be a bigger thing if she wants to be involved.
that's very good. So I'll take care of that.
All right, thanks.
All right. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
All righty, 4
All right.
o'clock.
Bye now.
All right.